Well, everyone, it's time for us to go and take a look at the iPhone 8 and compare it against the iPhone 8 Plus and see which particular phone is the better one for you. Now, the first thing I'll definitely tell you is there's a couple of different things to kind of keep in mind within these two particular iPhones. The iPhone 8 and 8 Plus are very interesting. They're almost exactly the same type of device, but the big thing you're going to have to remember is that with a iPhone like the iPhone 8 and 8 Plus, these things, no matter how great they are in terms of the hardware outside, they are kind of done getting software support, and that could be a big issue for a lot of people. We'll talk about that throughout this whole entire video, but if you want to pick up either one of these devices, links will be down in the description. You can get that from there, and you can help support the channel at the exact same time. Now, starting off with the outside of both these particular phones, the iPhone 8, which came out in 2017, on the front of this particular phone is going to be giving you a 4.5 inch. On the front, it's going to be giving you a 4.7 inch Retina IPS panel. Now, with a phone like this, it's going to be a fairly basic type of experience. This thing is not going to be like the best of the best. It's going to be very, very basic. And especially for like an older phone that came out in 2017, there was another big overshadowing moment which really aged this particular phone, which was basically the iPhone 10. So with a device like this, you're basically getting a very limited type of experience in terms of the display. It's not a terrible experience or anything like that, but do keep in mind that with current generation of devices, you're going to be getting an overall way better experience than something like this. So once again, kind of keep that in mind on that particular side. With the iPhone 8 Plus, that particular phone is going to be giving you a 5.5 inch Retina IPS panel. Now this panel is bigger and it is a higher resolution panel as well, which is another big thing going on here. Like if you're going to go through and pick up a device, it is actually very nice going through and being able to buy a phone like an iPhone 8 Plus that's going to be giving you that better type of experience. So I do think this in and of itself is another very nice thing going on for this particular phone when it comes down to it as well. So that's another very, very big asset going on for this particular phone. So again, kind of keep that in mind in the back of your head as well. Now on top of that, both are giving you basically lightning ports at the bottom. So basically the same type of thing going on at the bottom of these particular phones. They're both like curved sided as well, which is really cool. And they're both giving you standard glass backs on the back of this particular device as well. So again, there's a lot of good stuff that I can continue to say about it. You're getting dual camera set up on the back of the iPhone 8 Plus, single cam on the back of the iPhone 8, wireless charging on both these phones. And these were technically actually the first iPhones to bring wireless charging, which was actually pretty crazy. IP certification on both these phones as well. And overall, both these devices still hold up fairly well for the most part. But they only hold up well from like a build quality standpoint, like how they feel in the hand. I will say some things that age this phone nowadays. One, there's no gesture-based design. So this is an older styling of a phone than before. So this in and of itself is another very big problem kind of because it is a significantly older feeling and older looking device compared to the competition that we had before or that we have now. On top of that, when you're comparing this phone against phones that we have now, I mean, all iPhones basically almost have like high refresh rate panels. We have USB Type-C, and even on some of the current generation, we have notches and gesture-based design. This thing isn't really giving you that. So this in and of itself can be another problem that you're going to be kind of experiencing with this type of device as well. On top of that, when it comes down to the price tag situation, the iPhone 8 Plus is basically going to be a more expensive phone as of this point than the iPhone 8. So if you are wanting the better, less expensive device, you could go for an iPhone 8. But the iPhone 8 Plus is going to be the one that's going to be giving you an overall, more expensive build. But with that, you're getting that dual camera setup, and you're going to be getting some other stuff going on with that particular phone too. So kind of keep that in mind. Again, it's not the biggest deal in the world, but that is just one of those things that I kind of noticed at that particular moment as well. Now, on top of that, another big thing going on here too with this particular phone, or these two, are the cameras. So you are getting an iPhone 8 Plus with a dual camera setup. You're able to do 4K at 60 on both of these on the back and 1080p on the front. But there's an advantage with the iPhone 8 Plus, which is on the iPhone 8 Plus, you are basically going to be getting that telephoto lens. Having the capability of getting a telephoto lens is very, very cool. And I definitely love having that type of capability. It's a very, very nice thing. With the iPhone 8, you're basically going to be getting a standard wide-angle lens, which in my opinion is probably okay, but it is significantly nicer, being able to go through and pick up a device like the iPhone 8, Plus that has that extra camera. But again, not the biggest deal in the world. I've definitely been in situations where maybe I would have preferred a better type of camera. But compared to phones nowadays, I have to keep saying this really isn't like the greatest or best type of camera. Both these things are, lacking ultra wide cameras, which is a very, very nice thing to have nowadays. this thing is going to be basically, you're not going to be getting that on this type of device, which again is kind of a disadvantage. I love having an ultra-wide camera and being able to zoom out a lot is very cool, but like I said, you're not getting that on either one of these phones, which, is probably okay for a lot of people. Now, on top of that, with another big thing is the fact that both these phones are not getting you, or giving you cinematic mode or, 4K 60 on the front or anything like that. And once again, that can be kind of a big disadvantage for both these devices. So if I'm going to go through and pick up a device, I prefer having a phone that's going to be giving me a better experience. And with something like the iPhone, 8 Plus, it's going to be okay, but it's not going to be that great. So keep that in mind. Although the iPhone 8 Plus is better, it's definitely not like the best one of all time. And that could be kind of a disadvantage if you're going to go through and pick up a device like that. So once again, kind of keep that in mind in the back of your head. Now, in terms of the software side, this is also another very, very big thing. So with both these phones, what I'll probably tell you is that with the iPhone 8, first of all, from the software side, this is a fairly good, software supported phone. It was for a while, but it's not really supported with software anymore. This thing kind of stopped getting software support on iOS 16. And, both these phones are basically the same thing here. Now, I've seen a lot of people make this argument where, because it's still getting security updates, it's still worth it. And, for some people, it might still be worth it. But I would say for the average person out there, it's probably not worth it at all. And that's kind of what's important. So with both these devices, I'll probably tell you that with something like the iPhone 8, it's very, they're both the same. But I probably would say and look otherwise than going up to something like an iPhone 8 or 8 Plus. I would recommend going up to something like an iPhone 11 or an iPhone 10R. Literally the next generation of device that's supported with software. It makes so much more sense to go and buy a device like that rather than buying this one because it's basically done getting software support. And like I said, I would hate for you to go and get a device like this if it's already outdated with software. So once again, in the back of your head, just kind of keep that in mind. Now, on top of that, another very big thing going on here too between both these devices is the fact that with the iPhone 8 and 8 Plus, the performance is almost identically the same. You're getting the same chipset on both, so you're getting the Apple A11 Bionic chip inside of both of them. Realistically speaking, the only difference that you're kind of getting here is that with both these phones, you're getting an extra gigabyte of RAM inside of the iPhone 8 Plus than the iPhone 8. So with the iPhone 8, you're basically getting that 2 gigabyte of RAM option. With the iPhone 8 Plus, you're getting 3 gigabytes of RAM. So it is kind of nice to be able to go through and get that type of capability on the iPhone 8 Plus. But I will tell you, because this chipset is significantly older, this is already kind of a disadvantage for this particular device. Like going through and getting that type of phone, it can kind of be a disadvantage for some people. And I'm going to tell you that in and of itself is kind of a problem in my personal opinion. It's not the worst performing phone of all time, but the other problem that you're also getting here, as you probably would have expected, is the fact that the iPhone 8 and the iPhone 8 Plus are going to be missing out on, when it basically comes down to the whole entire performance side, they're going to be missing out on basically the newer advancements that the newer chipsets have as well. So overall, what I'd definitely tell you is between both these devices, I will probably tell you the iPhone 8 Plus is the better one here, but I probably wouldn't recommend you buying either one of these phones. You are much better off purchasing a phone that is still supported with software. So think of phones like the iPhone, 10R, iPhone 11. Those types of phones make a lot more sense to go and buy rather than this thing. So that's kind of the way I see it. I really wouldn't recommend buying this phone at all or either one of these. I would recommend going up and buying something like an iPhone 10R or 11 at the very least. So in terms of that kind of covers it up here for the most part. If you have any other thoughts or questions, let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that would mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.